guys, it's Sean Kathleen, the creator of Passenger Shaming. If you are new here, welcome aboard. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. And just a caveat that I like to throw out there before every video. One, I don't edit. This is one take. I talk with my hands. I do air quotes. I say and so and blah, blah, and all that crap. I have red hair. If you hate red hair, if you hate redheads, you think we don't have souls, probably not the right channel for you. If you hate passenger shaming, if you think it's a dumb idea, click out. That's it. Easy peasy, whatever. But for the people who do dig passenger shaming, thank you for all of your support. You guys have been amazing. As you know, between Instagram and Facebook and social media, we're well over 1 million people right now as far as following. So that's because of you, and I want to say thank you. Okay. So one of the biggest questions that I don't even know why I have coffee. I'm so sorry. So one of the biggest questions that I am asked, like in any interview or with, people online or whatever, is, tell us the worst or the craziest or whatever thing that ever happened to you. So I have a canned answer. It's a true answer. And it's... it was that one time where we were getting ready to land in an airplane, and there was a gentleman who caught his hair on fire in a laboratory while he's smoking crack cocaine. So that happened. So yeah, people have never heard the backstory. So this is a story time. YouTube, people do story times. I know, it's whatever, but here's mine, because a lot of people do want to know what happened. And it's just a fun thing, because during interviews or whatever, I just tell them what happened, as far as, hey, some dude just, just caught his hair on fire in a laboratory while I was smoking crack cocaine. I don't know. I'm going to give you the backstory. So here's a story time. Sit down, grab something to drink or eat, and because it's going to take a few. So I am a former flight attendant, and I'm also a former police officer, which might be applicable to the story, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. Back when I was still flying, and it was go home day. So I'm going to give you a couple things that are inside for aviation related, I don't know, inside intel, if you will. Go home leg or go home day. So, that's your last day of your trip, which could be 2, 3, 4 days, whatever the case is. And with that, that's when the shit always seems to hit the fan. It is every time, I swear to God, it's go home, leg, wait, or go home day. I just realized, wait, even in addition to that, it was Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, it wasn't Thanksgiving proper, it was Thanksgiving weekend, and I had picked up the flight for my best friend, who I am still pissed off at about this situation. So, do you like my flowers? I got flowers, so I was like, I need to put them in here. Anyway, I get sidetracked too, whatever. So I'm on this flight, I'm like, great, whatever, I'm going home this day after however many days, thank God, I can't wait. So actually, I remember, it was the leg before go home leg. So I had to fly from wherever I was to the base, and then from the base, I would fly home, done, and then I would go into my 24-hour post-trip coma, because that's what flight attendants do. So this particular flight was completely full, literally full. And when I say literally, I actually mean it, not figuratively. There was not one empty seat on the flight. I take that back. There was one empty seat, because that was the last person to board, who was a gentleman. Let's see, I guess I'll tell you, give you a description if that matters. I don't know if it really does. Caucasian dude, super disheveled. His hair was all jacked up, and I don't know, he was just kind of dirty a little bit, and just whatever. So The entire flight is completely full. The entire plane, rather, is completely full, and there's one seat open, and it was 1D. So, you know, there's the galley, and then there's the bulkhead, and then the first row. So he's sitting right here on the aisle. So we're waiting for this guy to board, right? Well, here comes Mr. Asshat, disheveled dude. And, oh wait, he's in a wheelchair, perfectly ambulatory, of course. And, you know, they push him up, and he's got one of those, like, attaché cases. You know what I'm talking about? Like from the 80s, like that bullshit. Like it's not a briefcase like the hard pack, but like it opens and, you know, you can put your shit in it, you know, because he was like very important business guy or something. I don't know. So he gets out of the wheelchair, and so, you know, which is on the jet bridge, and he walks onto the aircraft, and he's holding his attaché case or whatever it's called. I don't know. And it's like all overflowing and shit starts like falling out of it. I'm talking an apple, like change, like quarters and pennies and shit. Probably not quarters, that shit, you know, it was like nickels and fucking pennies. Whatever. Shit was flying all over the place, and I was like, oh God, please. And this is the last person, we're just waiting. Okay, please just board the fucking plane. Because, by the way, you may not know this, but flight attendants do not get paid, as well as pilots, until the aircraft door is closed and we start moving. That boarding process, completely free. Doing it all for free, just for you guys. So, of course, he comes on, he's like talking shit, and I'm like, this guy's like weird, I don't know. And I was getting like the intuition, a couple little bells going off, and maybe that's the ex-cop thing, I don't know, whatever. But, oh, and of course I had to stow his bag because he can't put it in the bulkhead. As you know, bags have to go completely under the seat in front of you, which is not an option in the bulkhead. So then I had to go find some overhead bin to put his shit in, you know, his apples and his fucking change and whatever the fuck else was in that bag. And so that was the whole thing. Anyway, and I remember asking him, like, I would never have done this with any passenger, like it's not a thing that you do, but I remember saying to him, like, hey sir, can I see your ticket or something to that effect, because I wanted to get, you know, in close proximity with him to see if he had been drinking, because like I said, something was off, couldn't really tell what it was, and, you know, I wanted to get close enough. Like, I would never have asked, there's no reason, but whatever. I didn't smell alcohol. In the meantime, you know, we're getting ready to close up, do all that nonsense. I call one of the other flight attendants in the back, and I say, you know, tell her what's up. I was like, just come up and check this dude out, just whatever. And then during that time, I'm in the front, you know, I'm in the front of the aircraft, and I'm in the galley. Do these people not know that I'm like I'm living in the city, like that I'm maybe trying to make a video? And I remember I'd like leaned out, because as a flight attendant with even one passenger on the aircraft, you can't leave the aircraft both feet. So I was leaning out, and to the kid who had pushed, you know, the guy up in the wheelchair, and I did something like, I said like, and he was like, no, he's cool, he's cool. I was like, okay, cool. And the other flight attendant, you know, she spoke to him up close, and she was like, good. And then here comes the gate agent, you know, with the paperwork, getting ready to, you know, to hand that off to the flight deck. And I said to her, I said, hey, you know, was this that last PAX? Oh, we call passengers PAX. That's a aviation term, PAX. And I said, was that last PAX? Is he cool? Like, he's not intoxicated? Because, you know, it's not legal to board an aircraft whilst intoxicated, you know? I mean, it's a whole thing, because you don't want to be in an enclosed cabin, somebody that, you know, gets crazy, and, you know, who knows what the hell's gonna happen. It's the law, whatever. So she's like, no, he's cool. I was like, all right. So I close the door, we get ready to do our safety demo, and we're doing our whatever the fuck flight attendants do, you know, whatever you're doing. And, you know, we go to sit down in our jump seats, our respective jump seats, which mine was up in the front, you know, so this would be like the cockpit behind me, and I'm facing the cabin, you know, like, so I'm backwards. And was always super by the book when I was a flight attendant. You know, former cop of me, I actually used to be a paramedic, whatever. So like I was safety oriented. That was my main thing. It is for everybody, but I'm just saying, like, I was like kind of whatever about it. So I pick up the phone as I'm supposed to and say something, you know, some verbiage. Now keep in mind, this is not any security related anything. I would never give any of that away. But I say, like, you know, the aircraft is, see, this is what happens when you do one take. Aircraft is secure, or the cabin's secure and ready for takeoff. And, you know, you don't like have like little side conversations and, you know, during taxi, takeoff, and that lower, when you're below 10,000 feet, which is called stereo cockpit, because that is the most important portion of the flight, which also, you know, is applicable to when you're landing that last 10,000 feet. So, you know, you're not like chatting it up like, hey, where are we gonna go for lunch and whatever. So I say so a lot. Fuck. I need to figure that out. I apologize. Instead of saying what I always say, you know, cabin secure, ready for takeoff, whatever, I said cabin secure, ready for takeoff, and if anything happens, it's the guy in 1D. Click. Intuition, people. I'm begging you to just listen to your intuition. There is a biological reason that we have intuition. Google it, you know, whatever. I have children, I have 3 daughters. Don't think that that isn't a thing, especially as an ex-cop. Their dad's a police detective, and you know, like you hear about the girl who was like, oh, I was walking down this dark alley and oh, I had this like really weird feeling, but I was like, oh, it's fine. And then I kept going, and then something like really fucking tragic happens. So listen to your intuition, folks. That is one thing that I learned, obviously as a police officer, but even more so as a flight attendant, to be honest, like really. So I didn't. I mean, because you know what? It's not against the law to fly weird, right? I mean, and there wasn't anything going on. So anyway, we take off. I told you we do our safety demo. All is well, completely full flight. We do our beverage service, because I want to say it was like less than a 2-hour flight. It might have been like an hour and a half even. Short flight. We're getting ready we start our descent into the city, and I'm in the back of the aircraft with the other flight attendants, and one of them said like, oh, I'm gonna go run into the bathroom before we get ready to land. I said, you know, hand me a trash bag and I'll just go through on my way back forward and, you know, pick up some trash like we do, rubbish, you know, trash, whatever. You know, so like everybody who has trash just stuffs it into their fucking seat back pocket and doesn't hand it to us. It's, you know, so if a flight attendant, I know it's not you guys, because you guys know what's up and you're on board, but you know what? Tell your fucking friends. When the flight attendant comes through every 10-15 minutes with that goddamn bag, just put your trash in there. We don't want your banana peels all up in that shit and your whatever and your, oh, I can't. So as soon as I turn around from that aft galley, which is in the back, oh, and it's dark. It's completely dark. It's a night flight. No lights are on. I turn around and I see the dreaded fucking red flashing light all the way up in the front. And then I hear the whoop, whoop, alarm, whoop. I'm like, fuck. So I haul balls up front. In the meanwhile, you know, I grab the fire extinguisher, I'm pulling the pin, you know, I'm like, oh shit, you know, this is great, what the fuck. And I get up to the front, and as soon as I get up to that forward lavatory, the door just flings open and some guy kind of stumbles out. And there was like this waft of, I don't want to say smoke per se, but like that, maybe a little bit, but that smell, because it was still dark, that burnt hair smell that like permeates your nostrils for like a week, and that's all you can smell forever. One other thing I could think of is when we worked on cadavers and that sort of thing when I was going through anatomy and medic school, but that's a whole nother situation. Vicks, Vapor Rub. But you know what I mean? That shit like gets stuck in your nostrils. So I'm like, what did you do? What did you do? What's going on? What happened? You know, in my head, of course, I'm thinking like this guy like lit a cigarette or whatever, you know. And so at this point, obviously the captain calls, I'm on the phone, I got the fire extinguisher, the pins pulled, I'm in, you know, the lavatory, I'm like literally pulling panels out, and I'm like in cop mode, like, what did you do? What did you do? And he was like, I don't know, whatever. Oh, and he had a fanny pack. Like, that should have been another maybe indicator. Fanny pack. I'm gonna let the fanny pack slide with one person, and his name is Joe Rogan. Other than that, nope. Unless maybe ironically, which wasn't the case here. So, and it wasn't Joe Rogan. So, I look at this gentleman's hair, and the entire front portion right here is completely singed off. Not bald, but like singed, like to this, because his hair was kind of long. I mean, not much shorter than mine. I was like, what the fuck? So evidently what had happened was he was wearing his fanny pack in the lavatory, and while he was bent over, you know, getting his stuff, which of course I didn't know at the time, his pipe and his lighter caught his hair on fire. We land, everything's fine, no incident, other than as we're taxiing in, he's asking me if he's gonna make his connection, because we are sitting right, he's facing me because I'm facing the back, right? I mean, like, I'm facing the cabin because I'm sitting backwards, and he's right there on the aisle, first seat. And he's like, am I gonna make my connection? So that's like kind of like a inside little thing between flight attendants, like, you could crash land in the Hudson River and you're like holding on to your, you know, your seat cushion. And it's like, am I gonna make my connection? No. So I was like, and I remember thinking, like, don't use the word police or whatever. So I said something like, sir, the authorities will be meeting us when we arrive. You know, at this point we're taxiing in. So we have landed and we're taxiing in. It takes a few minutes. And then he goes, oh, what? What do you think, like I'm a terrorist or something? Or you think I'm a and I was like, sir, just stop. Like, really, like, sit, just stop what you're saying. Be quiet. Shut the fuck up. I didn't say shut the fuck up, but I was like, sir, just, I'm doing you a solid right now. Just don't say another word until we arrive, okay? Just, I felt so bad for the kid next to him because there was literally not an empty seat for me to move anybody in that area. Oh, it was awful. He was crazy. Anyway, we arrive, we park, the door opens, and here come the big burly cops, and they take him away, and he's arrested, and that's the end of the story. And he did not make his connection, and there you go. Now you know the backstory. And I will tell you what, it sucked at the time, and it was awful, but guess what? Now it's a fun story. I mean, it's kind of fun, like, where I can just be like, oh yeah, you mean the guy that I had that caught his hair on fire while smoking crack cocaine in a laboratory? Oh, that one, no big deal. So, I'll give you some more fun story times in the future. And I do want to say thank you so much again. Just feel free to hit thumbs up the video if you like it. If you don't, you can thumbs down. It's okay. I live in the city. These asshats don't know. You know, I'm trying to make a video. It's cool. But again, oh, and don't forget to go back and check out some of those videos about, I'm doing that new series about stupid questions on airplanes, which a lot of people are really digging. And also there's a Q&A video coming up very soon. So again, thank you so much for watching. To all the people who have been digging the Instagram live videos and our interaction that we get to do live, that's been a lot of fun. So make sure you're following Passenger Shaming on Instagram, Facebook. I don't know, you can just Google it and everything will come up, all the social media stuff. And in the meantime, thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.